Hello, everyone, and welcome to the B&T Sportstalk show. Man, do we have a show for y'all today. We came into today thinking we were going to be talking the Super Bowl and Super Bowl predictions. Boy, were we wrong. Big news in the NBA today, which we will hop into. But before we do that, first, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that notification button. We appreciate it. B, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Raining very ferociously here. So I don't know how's the weather up there where you're at.
Same. We're getting a good amount of rain. It hasn't come down too bad, but it's supposed to get worse as the week goes on.
Yes.
So
we need it.
We're gonna get a lot of rain. Yeah, it's been pretty bone dry this winter, honestly, and we're already in February. So the rain's coming. It's coming.
Absolutely, man. But man, what a day for breaking news here. You know what? Well, let's just get into this because we need to talk about this right now. All right. I had to call you because that's how quick this news traveled here. I got a call from a friend of mine telling me about this, and I told him he was full of absolute dog crap. I was like, "There's no way this is going down, right?"
Yeah.
When you hear the two names that were traded, you're like, "This ain't happening. There's no way it's happening, right?" Peep this, and the Lakers are what? You guys are in the top 5 in the playoff in the playoffs right now, right?
We
you're not even
came off a win.
Tournament.
We just beat the Knicks without AD. Great defensive. And this is where my mind was before you contacted me because I wasn't aware. I had watched the whole Laker game, which was earlier in the day around 5:30. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. Lakers got the win. Our defense looked good. Max Christie looked great out there. LeBron, he had a great game, triple-double, 30-something points, I turned the game off, and I'm like, okay, let's start watching some real reality TV garbage. Let's watch that and chill. Evening over. Not quite.
Nope.
Not quite.
So, for all you sports fans that were living under a rock for the last 24 hours, which is quite embarrassing here, the Lakers and Mavericks, two of the teams that you would not expect to do deals, decided to do one of the biggest deals that shook the NBA course and the rest of this free agency, and it's just getting started. Luka, Fat Boy Doncic, it's going to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are then going to send Anthony Davis. We're just going to talk about the big name players here, and everyone else will come after, to the Dallas Mavericks here. And then there was another team involved. The Utah Jazz received a nobody at that point, but they did get benefits. They got chicken nuggets and fries for that. But the biggest surprise was Luka going to the Lakers, and then Anthony Davis going to the Mavs. So T, as a Laker fan, tell me about it.
Okay, first off, when you called me, I had to stop you from talking just because I didn't want to hear it, and I wanted to see it myself. So I had to okay, hold on. Let me look it up first. And I could not believe the fact that Luka Doncic, one, will be a Laker, and two, that the Lakers would trade AD to Dallas. Now, I mean, as a Laker fan, man, I understand this play all the way around. You basically just figured out how to get past the LeBron era in one move. And I think that's ultimately what they were trying to do. And LeBron's only playing 1 or 2 more years maybe. And you weren't sure of the future after that. Anthony Davis is getting older. And as a Laker fan, let's be perfectly honest about this. The Lakers with LeBron and AD they've kind of underachieved a little bit. I mean, they did win that championship in 2020.
It didn't count.
But
that did not count.
Shut up. Everybody, there were other NBA players there, okay? If they want to win, they could have.
Half seasons don't count, my man.
Really?
But anyways,
really?
We will continue.
Paul George, would you doing the Paul George now? What's the same? Yeah, well, you couldn't win in a normal season. Why are you complaining about that one?
Paul George can't even play in the regular season.
Well, that's my point. So anyway, it had some success, but they really didn't live up to the hype that it was beforehand. They got the one championship, so that's well and good. But the Lakers at this point in time need to figure out a way to move forward. LeBron's getting old. AD, although was healthy most of last season, and really all it did was get them into another round of basketball with the Nuggets, who they cannot beat no matter what. So I like the trade from the perspective of long term. This is a great move. I don't know if folks understand, but Luka Doncic is 25 years old.
That's ridiculous.
Okay? He's only 25, folks. So he's getting to his prime. Although he's been a very good player, he's not as great as he will be. And the Lakers get to get his entire prime for the next 7 or so years and build around him, which is incredible. That alone is crazy.
It
Okay,
is.
short term is they got to make another move to get a center in there because the LeBron Luka thing is kind of feels like they're gonna have to take turns sharing the ball and do similar things. But even with that being said, the Lakers have made the decision to almost, I mean, I won't say they made the decision to forego this season, but they made the decision for the long term instead of shooting for the short term. Now, of all the names of the players that the Lakers could have gotten, right? There were talks about Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox. There were talks of players that could come and join LeBron and AD. There ain't one report out there that said anything about Luka Doncic going anywhere, not even going to the grocery store. Like we had no report about Luka Doncic doing anything. So for this to go down and for nobody to report on it until after it happened is absolutely insane. The Lakers are one of the most. Every time someone is on the trade block, the Lakers are mentioned as a rumor team. But the biggest trade that they make, no one had any idea about.
Nobody.
So kudos to Rob Pelinka for at least keeping it quiet. Because generally things like this do not fly under the radar. Not this big. Even, it just doesn't happen like this. So kudos to them flying under the radar. It's a huge pickup because it secures the future of the Lakers franchise for the foreseeable future. And I still think they are not done yet. There's another move in the works. They have to find another center because they're already thin at the center position and they need a big. And they have one more first-round draft pick that they can trade away. So there's got to be something else going on too.
Well, so let's now look at the way the Lakers are going to shape their roster, right? Yeah. So obviously you're going to have Luka. Now remember though, this is Luka's final contract here. So he's going to need to get paid.
Yeah.
Is this LeBron's final year as a Laker here? Because like you said, you are building the future now, and you went out and got the second best point guard in his prime at this moment at the age of 25. That rebuild needs to happen substantially quickly here because you don't want to see too much of a downfall when it comes to having to rebuild this team. So do the Lakers find a way to ship LeBron in assistance with getting Luka the help that he's going to need for the long term as a Los Angeles Laker?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think LeBron can opt out next year, so he can opt out of his contract and then
come on over to Golden State, baby. We'll have a retirement party over here.
And
come on,
renew it
come on,
next
let's go.
Year. So the crazy thing about having Luka Doncic is it gives all the leverage to the Los Angeles Lakers. They don't
with his contract.
They don't have to, feel this unnecessary pressure that they did when LeBron. It was just LeBron as the star player, where they just
keep going. I gotta let this dog out.
As B gets attacked by a small dog, they never had to, or with LeBron, they had to make a choice quickly because of the small window that LeBron James had. Now that they don't have that small window to work with, they have a much broader, longer amount of time to build a team around Luka. Yeah, they could look at LeBron and say, yeah, bro, we would love to have you play with Luka. Absolutely, we would love that. But if you decide that you don't want to play here, right? Like they're not under the pin or the push of LeBron James anymore. And I think that does more for the Lakers than anything else. It gives them a lot more flexibility than they previously had. Because like I said, I'm gonna have this guy for the foreseeable future. I don't have to worry about LeBron leaving in 1 or 2 years. If LeBron wants to leave, fine, great. If he doesn't, great. But it's not like they have to sign somebody right now and they have to win a championship right now. Like that although it's still there. They're the Lakers franchise. They gotta win. They gotta be competitive. But it at least gives them some breathing room and makes them a much more attractive landing spot than it would have been before, with the heat of LeBron's ending career looming in the background.
Now, and I want to make something a little more clear as well. I think Kobe's legacy may have had a chance with this. And if everyone doesn't remember, Kobe's first game back to the Staples Center was against the Dallas Mavericks when he was officially retired, right?
Yeah.
Tapped Luka on the side and spoke to him in his native language. Took Luka by surprise. Was not expecting that. And I think Luka was I think he was a
I
rookie
thought he
that
was a
year,
rookie. Yeah. Yeah.
if I remember
Yeah.
correctly
It would
here,
have to
right?
have been. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. I think having Kobe's legacy and the impact it may have had on Luca does tie in with a little bit of this. But the fact that it was so damn quiet that none of us knew about this until everyone's phones went off. I mean, for God's sakes, Kevin Durant was on a cell phone on the bench
In
getting,
the
getting
middle of the
an
game,
update.
man. Yeah.
And I was telling you, T, I know the Warriors signed KD during the offseason, right? And that was a big splash. It's not as big as when we got KD, but now I know how fans feel when a star player goes to a team that doesn't need one. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's now I know the feeling here. But let me tell you your team's projected starting lineup, assuming that this is how it's going to go. Obviously, you'll have Austin Reeves, or you have Luca when he's back.
Yeah.
You'll have Austin Reeves at the two. You'll have LeBron James at the three. I'm assume Rui Hachimura at
Yep.
the four, and Jared Vanderbilt starting at center here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You might. They may have to start Jackson Hayes at center just
that's right.
because he's the only center we have left. We have him and Koloko, who is spending a lot of his time in the G League, so he's not. That's why I said we need to get another center. So I think you'll see Jackson Hayes at the center position. Rui Hachimura will be playing at the 4/3. Braun will be playing at the 4/3. So those guys are interchangeable, and you go with Luka Doncic
Austin.
and Austin Reeves. So it on paper that's a really it's you need more depth at the big position, but it's not a bad team.
No,
They definitely need to get somebody at the center position that can help them out, especially with rebounding because they for sure struggled with that. But it's a pretty in my book it's a pretty good team. They've got a couple of guys who can play defense at the wing position, with Dorian Finney-Smith who comes off the bench. Unfortunately, they did lose Max Christie, who was also one of those guys who helped with defense. So, I look for them to make a couple more moves, man. I think if somebody's open or somebody's willing to deal a very good big at this point in time, then the Lakers are going to be there. Otherwise, it's going to be middle of the road big that whoever's available they'll try to pick
yeah,
from.
but once you get Luca, man, that floor becomes a little more wide open because you're gonna have to pay attention to that there. But you know what the funny thing is like when the report came out about this, the Mavericks were concerned about Luca's conditioning and overall weight
Yeah.
when it came to this here. And the first person I thought of when it came to this was none other than Zion Williams, because we all know how fat Zion got when he entered this league and how he could not recover himself
Yeah.
when he got hurt here. And it feels a little similar to this here. Do you think being on a new team now, does that kind of rekindle, hey, it's time to get back in shape here to get ready for the postseason here?
Well, I guess I understand where the Dallas Mavericks may be trying to come from, but let's be perfectly honest here. Um, I don't think Luka Doncic would have been the player we think he is if he couldn't play basketball very well. And I think what we're trying to insinuate is that him being overweight is keeping him from playing good basketball. I don't think that's
Yeah.
correct. The guy was in the finals last year. I mean, I don't know how much emphasis I can put on this. This guy has been first team for 5 straight years. Okay? He
Hey,
went to the finals last
golly,
year
man.
against the Boston Celtics, who have one of the most biggest. They've got a big 3, 4. Kristaps Porzingis and Tatum and like they're a very good complete team. So
Porzingis doesn't count. He was hurt for
yeah,
most of the
well, no,
finals,
he
but
was. Yeah,
yeah, I
he
get
had
what
one
you're
good
saying.
game. I guess so. But
Yeah,
but
it
in
was
any
the first
case,
game.
so I think Dallas might be trying to. Maybe there is some truth to that, but I haven't seen it in the actual games because from what I've seen, the guy has been pretty darn good, especially in the playoffs. He's been really good in the playoffs. And so I don't, yeah, maybe there's some truth to that, but I just don't see the evidence of that in his gameplay. And he's had some injuries here and there, so maybe that's what they're trying to say is that some of his regular season injuries are due to his weight. But I haven't seen him miss very many. I haven't seen him miss that many playoff games. He's not Kawhi Leonard.
He ain't missed that many meals of late either. Let's show a little love to the Dallas Mavericks because their team did get a lot better in my eyes as well.
They don't
Uh,
think so.
They don't think so, but it's funny that the GM goes, we were looking for defense. And I find that very interesting because this isn't a league where defense isn't going to really do anything for you when games are on average of 120 to 130 per team here. So defense is basically out the window. This is more an offensive league here. But when you look at the Mavericks now starting lineup, you're going to have Kyrie at the 1, Clay at the 2. You're going to go Daniel Gafford at the 5, Spencer Dinwiddie, I believe maybe at the 3, or Clay Thompson could be at the 3. And then AD, who wants to be a true 4, will not be a true 4 there, especially with Derek Lively the second and Daniel Gafford being centers there, over there for him. So he gets his wish. He wants to be a true 4. He is now going to be a true 4. But when you look at the Dallas Mavericks lineup here, that's a lot of size in the front court, man. That is a lot of size for that team.
Yeah, no, I think Dallas has been kind of underwhelming, honestly. If you think about kind of where they are in the standings, and I'll look it up, but I believe they're on the bottom half of the standings throughout this season. And a lot of that has been because, well, Luka's been out for a few games. He's been out for a little while too, which hasn't helped. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good pickup because I think the Kyrie and AD thing can work out for you. I think having a big that can play at at a high level, and Kyrie, who although is older, can still wasn't as old as LeBron, he can still perform. Clay Thompson has been kind of up and down all over the place. I don't know how much Clay is going to give this team because he's been a little inconsistent. But I think the Dallas Mavericks have a chance to make a little bit of a run. However, the Dallas Mavericks, the trade for them, we would be talking about in the short term, and I think that's the biggest difference. And in the short term, yeah, I think they'll be good. Will they be enough to get back to the finals? OKC is pretty good.
They are.
I don't know if that puts them over the top. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Lakers fan, but I'll be the first to tell you, and B can tell you this as a Warriors fan. I'm looking at OKC and I'm thinking, yeah, that team, they got bounced last year, but they're only getting better, and they're not going to be easy for any of the teams we're talking about to just go in and beat. So I just I kind of caught I don't know if this makes the Mavericks a title contender. I think it definitely pushes them up in the standings because right now, and I'll look it up. I think they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom half of the standings right now. So they did need. I guess they felt the need because of that to do something to maybe ramp it up a little bit. So we'll see what happened. They just got completely blistered by the
lost by 40 to the Cavs
today, so they're not even. Yeah.
Before anyone blows that out of proportion, Lucas still wasn't going to be playing in that game. So everyone just calm down with something like that there before you go losing your mind about something like that had nothing to do with the Luka trade here for it. But other big news. Hold on. Does Jimmy Butler become now a more valuable player for the Dallas Mavericks after losing Luka? We didn't talk about it earlier, but I could kind of see Dallas maybe not making a play for Jimmy Butler, especially now that they don't have to worry about Luka's contract anymore.
Yeah,
that may be something that they may entertain.
Well, I think Jimmy's made it clear he wants to go to the Suns, and the Suns are doing everything they can to try to get Jimmy Butler on their team. The Warriors also are kind of on the peripheral. I haven't really heard a lot about the Mavs trying to bring in Jimmy Butler. And I don't know what the money would look like or what they would need to trade to get there. Because in my mind, I don't know what assets they have that the Heat want. I mean, maybe they have some first round draft. I don't even know if they've got that. So I'm not sure what the Mavs have that the Heat would want at this point in time.
Yeah.
I think the player wise, I think the Heat are looking for a young player and draft picks. And I'm not sure that the Mavs really can. I don't think the Mavs have that to offer. So I'm not sure if Jimmy Butler's on the plate for them. Now, your Warriors, on the other hand, you guys have those two things, and that's why I think you're being considered. You guys have a few young talents you can give away, and you have a bunch of draft picks, or not a bunch, but you have your draft picks, which I'm sure at this stage with where your record is, that he might be interested in taking. So that I could see, but no, I don't know. I don't know if Dallas has the tools to make that move. I will say though, Jimmy Butler's price, I mean, I don't know if it's that high. I don't know if anybody, we all kind of forgot.
It ain't that high no more. It ain't that high no more.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
He ain't part of the cool kid no more. He's like, that's gone.
Not really, and now that the market is actually moving, you can kind of see what people are getting. It's first round draft picks and good players. So even the De'Aaron Fox trade, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Oh,
Um,
hold on. Breaking news. Warriors end talks for Jimmy Butler after he tells teams he is unwilling to sign an extension.
they There you go.
There you
I
go.
told you. Hey, we talked about it. You know,
Oh,
I just talked about it. Right? Breaking news. We're That's why you come to us, because we have the foresight to see what is happening next, except for the Luka trade, of course.
yeah. Nobody saw that one
But
coming.
hey, let's jump into the chat, because I want to give who we got, Rubicon 81 some love. Thanks for hopping on, man. Um, he's Kobe retired before Luka was drafted. I believe you are correct, because Kobe obviously drafted, I think, about five years before the plane crash. So that would have been about close to 8 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So with Dallas being under new ownership, I don't think they wanted to pony up the super max, and Celtics really exposed Luca on the defensive end.
Yeah, he brings up a good point because Luka just was a shell of himself against the Celtics defense. But the Celtics defense has really been doing that to a lot of
Yeah,
teams all year. Hence, they're in the position that they're in here. But yes, Dallas is avoiding having to pay a supermax deal. Although next year is when those TV contracts come into place, so teams will have money to spend
yeah.
when it comes to that there, because everyone's going to get a good piece of this. I think it's like a $7 billion TV contract. So the teams are going to benefit from that there.
Yeah, and then the next one was Dallas gets back a guy who can get 12 boards, 2 to 3 blocks, and 27 points per night. I like the deal for Dallas in the short term. So yeah, no, I mean, Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. He's an All-Star player. I don't think there's any
Yeah.
question about that.
Yep.
I will tell you, as a Laker fan, though, Anthony Davis is one of those guys. He's gonna have great games, and he's gonna have not so great games. There's
And
gonna
then
be
he's going to
games
get
where,
randomly hurt.
yeah, there's going to be game, and he's been pretty healthy the past 2 years, thankfully.
Yeah, he
But
has been.
although he's dealing with an abdominal issue now, but he's going to have games where he's going to be that guy who's 40 points, 20 rebounds, and then he'll have games where he's going to go for 15. I think the saving grace for Dallas is if they play him with a center, he'll be even better. If
Yes.
they decide to play small ball and he's at the center position, the centers you play against, he's not a very good defender against bigger centers or scoring centers. Even with AD, the Lakers still we still had a defensive rebounding problem. So if they can pair him with, obviously they can pair him with Gafford, who can do a lot of the dirty work. I think that'll bode well for AD in the long run.
Yeah.
Um,
So I do like this for the Dallas Mavericks as well. They are looking to win now. So bringing AD into this situation here does really help them a lot. So good for them. But let's talk about this other trade, man, because this one we talked about the Spurs being a ground for players to come to with a guy like Wembanyama, and this shows. Before we talk about the trade here, the Spurs are currently sitting in. They're just right out of the playing tournament. 3 games separated here for the Spurs getting in. So what do? They go out and get De'Aaron Fox in a trade. Obviously, this is a multiple team trade. The Spurs get De'Aaron Fox. The Kings just want to take all of the Chicago old players and now get Zach
they
LaVine
got Zach LaVine, yeah.
in this as well here. So who wins in this trade? I think the Spurs make out great in this trade here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you drafted Wemby. We understand that that's the future of your franchise. You're a young team. You add a De'Aaron Fox, who is, he's been kind of under the radar as a star point guard in this league, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he plays for Sacramento. And they had that one
Who?
season, Sacramento Kings. He played for the
Who?
Sacramento. Anyway, they he they had the one season where they overachieved. I would say they lost to the Warriors in 7 games, excuse me, and
Yeah.
they kind of haven't really done anything since then, and they really started to regress. And so I think this is a great move for the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox is still young. He can play with Wemby for the next 7 or 8 years. They can make some magic together. Now, will that make this team, as far as the Spurs, a championship contending team? No, I mean,
I
maybe
don't
not.
think so, but I think it makes him a more contender
It
though.
does, yes.
Look, he's just like Luca, right? He's in his mid-20s. The man is averaging 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 46% from the floor here. Although those sound like really bad numbers compared to this league, you got a guy scoring over 25 points, and you take the pressure off of Wembanyama on having to score here. So I think this is a phenomenal pickup for there. He's going to learn a lot being under Chris Paul on understanding how to be a point guard as well, because I don't think he was really doing that in Sacramento. He was being asked to score more instead of facilitating in that there. So I see these numbers and assists going up now that he's with Wembanyama. Kudos to Greg Popovich for getting this.
Yeah, well, hopefully Greg gets better. He's, obviously he dealt with
He's dealing with some
the
stuff.
stroke earlier in the season, and so we don't know what's going to happen in the future or whatnot. But yes, for the Spurs overall franchise, yeah, this is a great move. I don't think it's a terrible move for the Kings either. I mean, you get Zach LaVine, whose contract will be, he'll be on your books for a little bit, but in the long run, if you want to keep him, you keep him. If not, you lose him off your books. And they're really
Yeah.
kind of in a retooling stage, I think. Zach LaVine on paper, I don't think does much for the Kings, in my opinion, because they already have DeMar DeRozan, who kind of is a similar style player. And I could be wrong. Maybe these guys figure out and play together, but the Kings, in order to win, got to score like 130 points, man. So, and I
That
think,
ain't gonna happen. And
and
now they're undersized too. Like
yeah,
they're
well,
really
they've kind
small.
of always been a small ball, kind of a smaller team. Um, I do like the fact that they were able to get three first round
Damn.
draft picks for De'Aaron Fox. I think that's a steal.
100%.
Because De'Aaron Fox didn't want to be there anymore. He had made that clear. They fired their head coach to try to appease it, sounds like, and that didn't go over well. So to be able to come out of this with Zach LaVine, which might end up being contract fodder, in long run, but you get the 2025 Charlotte pick, 2027 San Antonio pick, and the 2031 Minnesota pick. They also got 3 second-round draft picks in 2025, 2028, or 2 in 2028. And so the Kings are doing what we saw Oklahoma City do. Hey,
And
it's
that's
not working
built.
out. We're going to lose Harden. We're going to lose Kevin Durant. We're going to lose Russell Westbrook. We're going to get as many picks and dead contracts as we could possibly get. Get those contracts off the book. Get as much cap space as you can and draft as much talent as you can. So I see the Kings kind of going in that direction, which be curious to see if the Kings decide at this point to offload some of their other talent as well. Now that De'Aaron Fox is gone, what do you do with Sabonis at this point? Is Sabonis now?
I think you use a
up for-
bonus as up for grabs.
Yeah, is he up for grabs? Well, guys like Malik Monk. Are there teams out there that might need a second
The Warriors
a
could use
second
Malik
tier
Monk.
scorer to come off the bench and fill it up for them? So I'd be curious to see what the Kings do going forward now that they kind of are in this place to where their star player's gone. So maybe it's time to move these guys on to to different pastures. Sabonis, we would love you with the Lakers. Probably not going to happen though. The Kings will never trade with the Lakers ever in life. The
But
Bulls.
hey, man, the Mavericks and Lakers traded, so
You're right.
you have to keep that wide open that there's an
You're right.
opportunity.
You're right. There's a possibility out there, and the Bulls are just offloading talent. That's another team that is also looking to get rid of a lot of players. The fact that they were able to get rid of Zach LaVine, that was one of the bigger contracts that they want to get from under. Great, so that's great for Chicago. Now they just need to get rid of a few other contracts that they don't want anymore. Lonzo Ball being one of those folks. So I think what was it, Vucevic being the other. I don't know. We'll see what Chicago decides to do. But great pickup for the Spurs. Great future strategy for the Kings. I think it's all around.
Yeah.
It's all around good trade, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And then here's my team. The Golden State Warriors are sitting active. For God's sakes, we suck to begin with. So you figured we start making moves here and starting bringing in something to help Curry out. Get that number 2. Kuminga's been out for a minute. And then you see all this unfold. Now Jimmy Butler don't want it. Nobody wants to sign this man to extension. And rightfully so. That's a 34-year-old that you would pay a max deal to. You wouldn't do it there. Zach LaVine, who the Warriors were targeting, now no longer available. Vujicic, is it the center for Chicago?
Vucevic,
Vucevic, he's still on the table. So I can see them Although I like the kid Quentin Post, the young center from Boston College that the Warriors drafted last year, a true 7-footer. So maybe he's
I
seeing
do,
that
but
work
he's
out.
future. He's not now. And I
Yeah,
think the Warriors are in a position where they got to put butts in the seats and chase center, and so I think the Jimmy Butler is a splashier deal. I think if they can pull that off and get Jimmy to the
he
Warriors.
doesn't want it. The
Oh,
Warriors are out. The
oh,
Warriors
they
are
said
out
they're
because of
out.
the
Oh, they're out.
contract. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
because
out.
he said he won't sign a long-term contract with them.
Yeah,
Right.
so he's out.
So he's going to the Suns then. Because I don't think there's another team that's. So here's what's going to happen. And you heard it first, right? You probably, if you've been watching a lot of news, this is not new. The Suns went out of their way to purchase, or not purchase, but trade for 3 first-round draft picks. They're trying to put something together for Jimmy Butler. They're going to trade Bradley Beal away to another team, and basically replace Jimmy Butler with Bradley Beal. Like, that's been the going idea around the concept of getting Jimmy out of there. I don't know too many other teams that are there, and the fact that Jimmy Butler's on an expiring contract kind of means he has all the leverage. Because if he says he's not going to sign an extension, then a lot of teams are going to pull out, just like we just talked about with the Warriors. But B, are there any other players, Warriors wise, that the Warriors are looking at, or that potentially they can make a play for?
I don't know because even when Curry comes out and says that he wants to ride this out with what they got, that's only one
That's a
thing that they
bad
may not
idea.
do something exotic
Yeah.
to brighten the mind. Now, I think, like you said, Malik Monk to me
Oh
would
yes.
be a perfect fit in Golden State. They need a number. They need a scorer off the bench. Him paired with Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench, those two, I would like that combination there. Even Pajemski a little bit, and Pajemski's been a little on and off here, but he may be something available as a draft or as trade choice as well. So if there's anyone I think the Warriors should really look at, I think it's Malik Monk. I'm trying to maybe take on that contract because he just signed a long-term deal
Yeah.
not too long ago, and make him part of the future with the Warriors here. I think that would be a great pickup for it. Probably won't happen because I just don't think it will.
Yeah. Mike Dunleavy's been a little bit of a question mark in regards to your new GM and what his plan is going forward. Obviously, talking from a Lakers fan perspective, believe me, Rob Pelinka has been under a lot of fire, especially after the Russell Westbrook trade, which was absolute garbage, and I think set us back 2 years. But the fact that he kind of got handed Luka, because let's call it what it is. The Mavericks wanted Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And they weren't sure if they were going to get him. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the Lakers could have said no. I'm sorry, we want to keep AD. But when somebody offers you Luka, I mean, what are you supposed to say? I mean, what are you going to do? At that point, it's open house. If the Denver, excuse me, not Denver, F Denver. When the Mavs get on the phone, the Mavericks get on the phone and say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about? We're interested in AD. What do you think about Luka? I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
Sign me up. What
that's
else
a
do you
conversation.
want?
That's not even a
That's not,
conversation.
really.
It's like, all right, cool. Who
Yeah,
you want?
let's do it.
Like,
What else do you want? Oh, yeah.
You want LeBron? You want the training
want
staff?
yeah.
Who you want? You want the water boy? You want rights to the arena? What you need? We got you.
Now, I really wish the Lakers wouldn't have been able to pick Lively away from him. I would have loved that, but
that wasn't going to happen.
But it
There's
was
no way.
Yeah. Well, they've got him and Gafford, one or the other. But but the Lakers obviously weren't in the position to be like, no, we want that. At that point, they're offering you Luka. What the hell else are you gonna say? If I get Luka in a bag of chips, I'm taking it. Just because.
Can you imagine the movie? Did you see the movie Moneyball and the way those trades went down? Like
No, man, I gotta check it out. I have to check it out.
So this is literally what happened, and this is just hypothetical, right? But I see this happening. The Mavericks called the Lakers, and they said Luka for AD, and the Lakers said yes.
Yeah.
Like as the minute they were saying yes, they had AD's plane ticket printed out in LA. Because if you notice, he wasn't in New York. But we would have never put 2 and 2 together because there was no signs of this going down.
No, none.
So that's how I see them doing it. Was like, oh yeah, you know what? Hey, you guys want Luka? We'll take AD off your hands. Rob Pelinka said, "Yep, go ahead, take him." Is there anything else you need from us?
Exactly. It was like taking an order at McDonald's. Look, but super size me. Rob Pelinka just extended his career as a GM of the Lakers by making this move. Because up until now, it's been underachieving team after underachieving team, fired coach after fired coach, and they just couldn't make it work. And everybody's looking around like, well, how do you have AD and Braun on this team, but you can't figure out how to win enough to win games and make a deep playoff run? And they did make a couple deep runs, but other than that, they were out in the first couple of rounds. Outside of that,
Sure were.
So this extends this helps him keep his job, because now he's going to have the task of building around Luka, instead of them saying, "Oh well, LeBron's retired, so we're just going to fire the GM and start all over again." So yeah, man, all they got to do is make one more peripheral move to bring in a center, and they could keep the roster as is. And I think they have everything that they need. Like at this point, trading Rui Hachimura, trading Austin Reeves, which remember before we got to the deadline, the whole idea was, the Lakers have to get off of Austin Reeves. They got to trade him. They got to trade either Rui Hachimura, or they got to trade this guy, or anything that was valuable that on the Lakers. They got to get rid of it. But that's because everybody thought AD and Braun were untouchable. Now, now the Lakers can look at their team and honestly say, you know what? We can actually let Austin Reeves grow with this team. We can look at Rui Hachimura and let him grow with this team. Connect can grow with the team. We don't have to go out and go just grab somebody just because we gotta win right now. So it changes the whole perspective of the outlook for the Lakers and their management and ownership going forward. It's a huge pickup, and I hope that's not lost on people. I know there are a lot of people out there, Laker fans too, that are hating and saying, "Hey, how is this LeBron?" And Charles Barkley, of course, who hates on anything Lakers, and Warriors too.
He hates on us too.
Yeah, he does. How is this LeBron and Luka thing going to work? These two players are too similar. It's not going to work. This is stupid. Blah 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 blah. You're looking at it from a small lens. You're not looking at it through the big picture. Big picture is LeBron could retire tomorrow and the Lakers will be fine. That's what the Lakers were trying to accomplish.
Yep, and accomplishment has been done here. So we will continue to break more news to you guys when it comes to this trade deadline. But man, what a first! God, this was 24 hours from when Luka and the Lakers did their deal to De'Aaron Fox. It's only been 24 hours, maybe less than that.
Dude, I'm telling you.
This is gonna get pretty crazy here.
Joel Embiid, anybody?
Nah, ain't nobody want that dude. Okay, let's talk about Joel Embiid for a little bit. This dude has made over almost $250 million from teams. He has missed over 400 games.
I saw a stat. Did you see the stat during the game? He has missed more games than he has played.
It's wild.
The dude literally.
And yet the Sixers are sending him money like it's nothing.
Dude, I think, I wouldn't be doing it. I would not be doing it.
I'm not. He's damaged goods at this point. I said it. Joel Embiid is damaged goods. Sounded great at first, but the man has missed most of the season here. Paul George is like, man, I should have signed with Golden State.
Yeah.
Too bad. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's the end of that there.
It's over. Paul George, get out of here. He wouldn't have been playing on your team anyway. He's injured.
Probably. Draymond would have hurt his feelings real quick.
Yeah, he's injured all the time, man. Just
his alter ego would have been injured. Hey, before we go to the Super Bowl here, I now know why Justin Tucker was missing all those kicks this year.
Yeah.
The man is in trouble. He was hanging out with a Massage Watson, and he's caught 6 cases of inappropriate behavior and touching at massage parlors here. Justin Tucker, you are a kicker in the NFL. You have no business doing this here. All right, I don't get this part.
Dude, okay.
I want to see what the Ravens are going to do if they're going to bring him back, because you've seen kind of the publicity, kind of how everything went down with Deshaun Watson here, and now Justin Tucker is going to receive the same thing here.
Dude, I mean, he's a kicker though. right? Because at least Deshaun Watson was a
That's,
quarterback.
that's what I'm saying. What did you?
As a
What
kicker,
business do you have in the massage parlor?
think about
You're a
this.
kicker.
As a kicker, you don't have a lot of room for error. He's gone, right? They can go find another
Yeah.
kicker somewhere. And the way kickers are missing the point after touchdowns these days, to fire them. What difference does it make? Get rid of them. I mean, I don't see the point in keeping them around. They can try to do the whole suspension thing, but I don't think a kicker is that important, and you'll more likely see them just cut the guy, because that's usually what they do if the player is not a quarterback and they're not somebody that important. If you're a guy like who's the running back for the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs? What am I trying to say here? Your boy
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem
Hunt.
If you're Kareem Hunt, you're at the top of your career. You're doing very great. You get into that situation. The Chiefs didn't suspend him; they just cut him. Yeah, I mean, and eventually they end up just cutting him. And I think that's what's going to happen with Tucker, man. He's just going to get cut. And by the way, can we open up? Do we need like a massage therapist union or something to get some rights for some of these massage therapists?
We're not trying to make fun of the situation,
because this is ridiculous.
This is happening way too much.
Way
too
why?
much.
I mean, I understand that it's a little bit of the circumstance where someone's giving you a massage or whatever. These gentlemen, for whatever reason, decide to turn that into something that's way far beyond what it should be. But come on, people. Like, we got to get this in order. I mean, do we need to just hire big, hairy dudes to do massages for all NFL players?
All from Russia. Get them all from Russia, too.
You. Right. I guess that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do.
Someone call the president on the phone. Tell him to make a deal. We need them here ASAP.
Exactly.
Pause.
Get Russia. What's his name on whatever the dictator is over there? Get him on.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. That guy.
Oh, man.
Super Bowl time. It is here, the week of the Super Bowl. We get all this media nonsense. We get all this hype, until the big game hits us on Sunday.
50 different stories.
3:30. Yeah, we're gonna have all sorts of different stories here. We'll find a way to get another Patrick Mahomes story somehow, somewhere, even though his life hasn't changed. Probably going to get a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce story because it's year number 2 with this here.
Oh, wait! I got one more thing I need to talk about. Okay,
what?
On the NFL side. Okay, so we all know that the Raiders took the time to hire Pete Carroll.
You guys got
right. Okay, and this is what makes me mad, right? This is why our franchise is a dumpster fire. Then they go out and they get Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator.
Fat boy.
Chip Kelly. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, y'all are doing it big time.
Philly Chip Kelly? The guy
who
took a good team and ran it into the ground for 4 years? That guy? The guy
ran the Niners into the ground.
Who traded away was it Deshaun
Jackson.
Got rid of Jackson, got rid of God, I can't think of the running back.
Deshaun McCoy.
Thank you. Got rid of the 2 best offensive players on the team so that they could be crap for 3 seasons, and then he just lost his job. That's that guy?
Yeah, y'all got him. Congratulations. Y'all, man.
Whatever, man.
I'd be frustrated.
It's so bad.
Here's the best part, though. At least your offense doesn't know what his identity is yet, so you can't really worry about it. Who knows? Maybe he brings an identity to the offense that y'all been missing.
Yeah, okay.
we don't know that yet. But anyways, let's talk about the big game here. Obviously, you got the Eagles and the Chiefs here. Chiefs opening up at -1.5. Total over under is 48.5. And money line is going to Philly right now at +105 here. So let's give our predictions, T. It is time for that. I'll give you some prop bets as well. There are some pretty weird ones in regards to that. So I'm going to pull those up here for you. But let's talk about, obviously, the teams here. Kansas City, Philly. I will let you go first. Who you got and why?
All right. Well, this is a rematch of the Super Bowl from a few years ago. These teams are pretty – I mean, they played each other once before. Although the biggest difference is that boy Saquon Barkley. That's the biggest difference in this matchup, obviously. Philly's passing game isn't what it was in that last Super Bowl, which was a close Super Bowl, by the way. I know sometimes the losers get lost in the sauce in Super Bowls, but it wasn't. It was still a game that went down to the very end. So I think we're going to see the same thing. I think this game goes down to the very last possession of the game for these teams. and I think Saquon Barkley is going to have. I think he'll have a good game. My problem with it is going to be this though. I'm sorry, man. If it goes down to the fourth quarter, if it's the last drive, I'm still trusting the Chiefs, man. I mean, it's hard to pick against them in these close game situations. I haven't seen Philly win that big game in that fashion yet. I mean, they've let's be honest. That last game against Washington, that wasn't even worth watching. The game that they played against
Yeah, it wasn't close.
they played against Green Bay, that wasn't even really a game either.
Yeah.
Now let's look on the other side of the ball and let's look at who the Chiefs played. The Chiefs, of course, Houston Texans, they're all right, but they beat them. But they played probably the other best team in the entire league. That was the Bills. And managed to somehow get out of that unscathed. Now, if Philly had went through Detroit and beat Detroit, then maybe I would have thought, you know what? I think Philly's got a chance to beat KC. But KC has been beating good team after good team. They've been winning close game after close game. And
Ref after ref.
and
I'm
Philly, yeah,
joking.
well, I mean,
I'm joking.
you're
I'm
gonna they're
joking.
gonna get some calls. But Philly's kind of
It's,
just Philly
yep.
Philly kind of won the lottery. They played Green Bay and they played the Rams and then they played Washington.
Washington.
And so, I mean it's not their fault. But I just haven't seen from Philly that situation where they have to go down and win the game. And we've seen kind of the Kansas City do this time and time and time again. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think KC wins, but KC wins by 3. I think it's going to be all the way. It's going to go down to the wire, and KC wins by 3 points and wins their
All
third
right.
Super Bowl straight.
Well, look, and I'm going to go the complete opposite because no team has won 3 Super Bowls,
That's
and
true. That's
I
very
will
true.
like to see that trend continue. So I'm going to take the Eagles plus 1.5 on this. You mentioned it. The Eagles have been very run heavy with Saquon Barkley, and rightfully so. The man is just been an absolute monster. 2,000-yard rusher, potential MVP candidate. Although I still think Josh Allen probably will be winning the MVP here. But
Yeah.
you mentioned something, the throwing. The Eagles have had no reason to throw the ball with the running backs. And I'm going to include Kenneth Gainwell in this as well because he does complement Saquon Barkley very nicely here. I expect Philly to come out and throw this thing.
Oh.
And the only reason why is because Kansas City's front line, one of the best. So I think what they're going to start off with is a lot of dumps and dinks to Saquon, a little bit of getting AJ Brown in the mix here, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert as well. I think they're going to open up the passing game first to let the running game kind of develop itself here. They'll let the Chiefs know that running game is still there, but I think that towards the end of the game, I expect Philly to run this ball a little more, but I expect them to be a little pass heavy just to kind of change it up a little bit and kind of catch the Chiefs off guard here. So I expect them to win. Now, are they going to? That's going to be a little tough because you are going against Patrick Mahomes. And it's almost getting to the point, it's like when you try to bet against Tom Brady, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't do it there.
And
So
it sucks, man, because I remember what
yeah,
that was like, and it's terrible. It's like when he went to the Bucks and won. I mean, I want to throw up. Like, really, you know what I mean? Like, really. So it's just you're right. We are getting to the point to where it's kind of a tired story. You're tired of hearing about it, but at the end of the
yeah,
day, you got to beat these guys somehow, and most teams just haven't been able to do that. I love what Philly's bringing to the table with Saquon Barkley. But I think the Chiefs defense, they've done a pretty good job with mobile quarterbacks thus far. And they're going to continue to blitz the crap out of quarterbacks. I mean, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm thinking, I think their secondary is pretty good. If the Chiefs, if Philly wants to throw the ball, I'm okay with that. I'm actually
yeah,
more afraid of Saquon Barkley. Just because he has that one play potential. And A.J. Brown this season really has kind of been a shell of himself. They really haven't, blown the doors off with a lot of their passing offense. Not to say that Hurts can't do that, but at the same time, they haven't really had to. So
yeah.
I think the Chiefs are definitely going to want to put the ball in Hurts' hands and make him the focal point throwing the ball. If
I'm all
that's
right
what they
with that.
decide to do, that's what they want to do. Because if Saquon gets off, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough to beat Philly, because if Philly can just run the ball down your throat the whole time and kill time off the clock, it's not going to be that back and forth that you would normally get. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. We got 5 minutes of prop bets. So I'm gonna throw them at you, T, because you are gonna love some of these.
Let's hear
Let's
it.
start with the first one. Super Bowl prop bet, coin toss. The Chiefs are plus 250 to win it, negative 335 not to win it. The Eagles are plus 315 and minus 435. Who do you have winning the coin toss here?
I'm going to take the Eagles. Eagles win the coin toss and take it.
All right. Eagles with the coin toss there. I'm not mad at that there. Let's see here. Oh God, you're really gonna love this one. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right. Taylor Swift special 1989. Kelsey to have a reception for 19 yards and 89 plus receiving yards. Does he hit the 1989 special for his girlfriend?
No. 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 Did you just say 18 receptions?
I did.
For
18
94 yards?
19
19 receptions for 84 yards.
No, 19. Sorry, the bet is Kelsey to have a reception for 19 plus yards.
Oh, got you.
And an 89 plus receiving yard rating.
Okay. No. I think he'll have a good game, but I don't think it's going to be that. That's pretty specific. I'm probably not taking that bet. That a lot of things would have to go in a certain direction.
You can tell me about it.
And I'm done with it. Taylor Swift doesn't play football, so let's just move on.
Here comes another one here. Let's get to another Swiftie special. Everything has changed. The Chiefs to come from behind and take the lead in the fourth quarter. Do they do that? It's plus 200.
Yeah, that definitely can happen. So I'm taking that one.
All right.
Because cover behind me. They go up by 3, and then she score a touchdown. I mean, that for sure can happen. Yeah.
So all it basically is just basically the Chiefs are trailing in the fourth quarter, and they come back.
Right. Yeah. They can do that. Yeah. I'll take that one.
All right. Perfect. Let's see, what else do we have here? Super Bowl MVP here. You have the Chiefs side. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. And on the Eagles side, you have Saquon Barkley. Who do you have winning it?
Well, man, it's Pat Mahomes again. I already picked him to win, so I kind of have to go in that direction. I mean, as boring as that sounds, if the Chiefs win if the Chiefs win again, then he's going to end up being the MVP. I don't see it going to anybody else.
All right, let's go to the national anthem here. New Orleans songwriter and instrumentalist John Batiste will be performing the Star Spangled Banner here.
Yes.
The over-under is 120 and a half seconds here. Last year, Reba McEntire blitzed right through that in 94 seconds here. The quickest since Billy Joel. And I don't even know why this is a stat, but for God's sakes, it is here. So, T, over under the national anthem, John Batiste, 120 and a half seconds. What do you got?
This is a slam dunk. Absolute slam dunk. John Batiste is for sure going over. Folks may not be familiar with him, but he is a soulful musician. Does some R&B, does some jazz. He's African American, a black guy. And so if you think about what you said, and I don't mean to come at this from a race perspective here, but when Caucasian folks sing the national anthem, it ain't gonna take that long because they don't put that much into it. Let's just be quite honest. It's just gonna be in and out. No extra keys, not too many extra notes, just a straight up hamburger. So no, he's definitely gonna go over for sure. That's a slam dunk. I'm putting money on that right now.
All right, Kendrick Lamar now for the halftime show here. Over under, he wears a hoodie for his first song.
I'm going under.
So he's not gonna wear a hoodie?
No, he's not gonna wear a hoodie. I think he wiles out with something completely crazy. I thought you were gonna hit me with the not like us. What's the over? Is there an over under?
I'll wait. I think there is here. I'm trying to find it right now. You could wager from his first song to his last song, and
I
that could
see.
join him on stage here. Let's see here with his latest album. Okay. Meanwhile, the over-under for total number of his songs are 10 and a half. Does he do more than 10 and a half songs? Over-under.
I'm gonna go under. That's a lot of songs. He
All
might,
right.
because you know how they do a medley. He might get through it, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna go under on that one.
Okay. And now we have, what do we got here? Oh, let's see if that is one. Hold on, I'm pulling up just bad betting here. I love this. I'm grateful for the Super Bowl to do this. Let's see here. I don't have much on that here. Nope, nothing much on that.
Well,
Okay,
we'll make up
perfect.
our own. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Does he sing?
Are we gonna
What?
hear A minor? Are we gonna hear
Oh yeah,
Not
we are.
Like
Are you
Us
kidding me?
at the Super Bowl? Are we gonna bury Drake at the Super Bowl on national TV in front of millions upon millions of viewers?
He's gonna do "They Not Like Us" and then also "Euphoria" as well.
You think
Euphoria
he's
is
gonna do
probably.
Euphoria?
I hope he
Oh,
does
I don't think he did.
Euphoria because I hate the way that you look. I hate all the hate coming out of that
Oh
there
my
too. And you
gosh.
know what? Lil Wayne could get it too because he's all sensitive that he's not doing the Super Bowl, so he could get some of this
Well,
action too.
if he would have shut his mouth, he might have been up there with him.
I think so.
I
I
mean, if
you
he had
know
to just stay quiet and call Kendrick on the low and said, "Hey, man, you know, if you are thinking of adding somebody, I would love not to say you're gonna do that, but I would love to be on stage with you." But by coming out and making such a big deal and being all sorry and mopey about it in the beginning, I don't think he's getting that call now.
now last one before we move on to our new topic here. Does Kendrick Lamar bring? This is just a random one. Does Kendrick Lamar bring something out related to Drake's album and absolutely destroy it? Because in the "They Not Like Us" video, he takes a pinata shaped of an owl, just beats it to high heavens here.
I'm gonna say
Uh,
yes. I don't know if he beat something, but I think there will be some type of symbolism that will be in the show related to him destroying Drake in the rap beef. Absolutely.
and PETA, if you're watching, we're referring to a pinata. He's
Pinata
going to
owl,
beat a pinata.
not a real owl.
Yes. No, we don't need people coming after us for stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. I talked to you today. We are talking about a new segment called "Would You Rather,"
Would you rather?
and I'm gonna bring up the subject here. It is sports related, guys. So keep your mind out the gutters here.
Yeah.
This is going to be to accolades here. Now with the Super Bowl coming up, obviously, you know, you're playing for rings pretty much here. But the NFL does store its highest honor to their best player in the regular season, the NFL MVP. So T, I will start with you. Would you rather
Yeah.
win one Super Bowl ring
Okay.
or win 4 MVP regular seasons?
Super Bowl ring.
Just the one ring.
Just the one ring.
What's your reason behind it?
Okay, I'll tell you why. One, you don't get a ring for MVP. All right, that's number one. You
Yep.
get a trophy, right? But you don't get a ring. The ring is forever. Like you can carry that thing around and wear it for the rest of your life and show it to everyone you'll see forever and say, "I won a Super Bowl." And
Mm-hmm.
MVP, it's nice and all, but I mean, you know, who won the MVP last year, right? Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Right?
Hold on, pump the brakes.
Who's going to win it this year? Probably Josh Allen. You know,
Probably.
These guys. I mean, do we care? Does anybody really care? I mean, it's like the Charles Barkley effect. If Charles Barkley had never went on TNT, what would we be saying about him? We would be treating him like Karl Malone right now. We'd be like, yeah, Karl Malone, he's good. He's got almost 40,000 points or whatever. But, you know, he couldn't beat Jordan. Like, that's what we would remember him for. So to have that ring means a lot more than those MVPs, man. Just because you want to be able to show people that at one point in time, I was the best of the best. Like, for instance, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Great player, great player. But he did get a ring. If he didn't get a ring, we would still be talking about how great he was. But, you know, he wasn't that great. So give me the ring all day, man.
Well, agree 100% there. All right. I'm going to go the same route. I am going to say I'd rather take the one ring instead of the multiple MVPs. And that's the reason why is because when you grow up playing a sport, you grow up wanting to win a championship. All right. I've never met somebody saying, hey, man, I'm playing this sport just so I can take home MVP titles.
Right.
No one says that unless you're Cam Newton.
Okay, yeah, Cam Newton.
So Cam Newton was on this show and they asked him this question here. Would you rather, take that Super Bowl trophy, the one that he did not fall on the ball on, we don't know what would have happened, or those MVPs? And Cam Newton, being the selfish bastard that he is, said he'd much rather take those MVP trophies than the one Super Bowl trophy. So if I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, I'm upset about that because one, you didn't jump on the ball, and two, now you're just putting yourself over this entire team.
Yeah, well, for one, he has to say that because he's never won one. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a way of, it's a pride thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm
player,
like, I'd rather take a title. I'd rather take
right.
it.
No, I mean, yeah, and he's not at a place in his life where he's honest enough to admit that. But I mean, who did they lose to? They lost to the Denver Broncos, I think.
Yep, Peyton Manning's last year.
And Peyton was throwing the ball. That ball was coming off his hands like a dead duck at that point in his career. And he still managed to get it done. So, yeah, I mean, the Carolina should have won that. They should have won that Super Bowl, honestly. But, they weren't able to get it done. And that's why I say you want the one, because you want to be able to say, I got the job done.
Absolutely here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No, man, that's it, man. I mean, Super Bowl's next week. We're gonna do a show, obviously. It's always tough for us at Super Bowl because we gotta come in after the game. So be on the lookout for us. Once the game ends, we'll definitely have a lot to talk about. Hopefully more NBA news comes across over the next week as well. So that gives us a chance to talk about that. And
yes.
I mean, there's so much happening right now. So we appreciate y'all coming with us. Look out for more content from us. We're going to start making sure that more content comes out as far as some of the YouTube shorts. We did a little bit of that, dabbled in it last week. We're going to continue to do that, so be on the lookout for that. And, we'll give you guys something to, we realize this show's like an hour. But we're going to give you these little 1 minute, 30-second clips you guys can get through to get some of the important and funny moments that we go through during the show. To keep you engaged with us. All right. So make sure you look out for those and share it with other people too. We appreciate that as well.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Well,
all right, y'all.
That's all we got until next time, man. Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl.
Ready. You're ready. We really got to get.
We're all ready.
We got to get some new teams in here, right? I mean, we got to get some new teams.
No, you have to get a new team in there.
Yes, correct. A new team. I agree. Won't be the Raiders anytime soon.
Won't be the Ravens anytime soon.
Y'all closer than us, but in any case, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on the video. We appreciate it. We will see y'all next week after the big game. Man, peace. Y'all have a wonderful week.